I never imagined I'd be the guy chasing down a van that had my 10-year-old son and our Labrador drugged and dumped across state lines like they were bags of trash. All because some unhinged HOA president decided they didn't match the neighborhood aesthetic. What she didn't know: I'm the sheriff of this county, and I was about to turn her world inside out using every legal thread she thought she could twist. Sounds fake, right? Like some overcaffeinated Reddit post written at 3 a.m.? I wish it was. God, I wish it was fiction. Nobody wants to be the father trying to explain to a sobbing kid why someone decided he and his dog didn't fit the vibe of a community and thought kidnapping was a rational solution. And to do it all under the smug, sterile shield of HOA regulations? I've seen drug dealers show more empathy than the woman who orchestrated this. Let me take it back a bit. 2 months ago, I bought a house in a quiet cul-de-sac, sight unseen, at a property auction. My wife had just passed. I needed to change something fresh, without being too far from the department. It seemed peaceful. Lawns were manicured, sidewalks clean, neighbors waved from a distance. The kind of place you imagine raising a kid in peace. My son, Liam, and our very spoiled lab, Boomer, moved in with me. Things were okay for about 3 days. Then came the letter. According to the local HOA, my front-facing trash bins violated something called the Community Harmony Code. It read like I'd left decomposing roadkill in the driveway. Truth? I'd left 2 bins out for half an hour while wrestling a mattress upstairs. I laughed, tossed it in the trash. Until another came. Then a fine. Then an invitation to re-educate myself on HOA policy. That's when I met her Eloise Banner, HOA president and walking personification of vinegar and superiority. She strutted to my door with a clipboard, introduced herself like royalty, and scanned me and Liam like we were smudges on her otherwise pristine canvas. Called Liam's chalk drawings vandalism, said Boomer's barking was auditory pollution, and even suggested our navy blue front door was psychologically unsettling. Navy blue, not neon. Not blood red. Navy. I wanted to tell her I'd worked homicide, seen things far more unsettling than a blue door. But I bit my tongue. Over the next few weeks, the letters multiplied. Liam was scolded by a board member for playing tag near the fountain. Boomer was cited for being off-leash in our own fenced yard. The final straw before the storm was the mediation meeting, which felt more like being cornered by 6 retired school principals holding a Bible made of bylaws. They quoted rules like scripture. I asked if there was a bingo card for this nonsense. Crickets. Still, I tried to keep Liam out of it. Told him to ignore the adults who'd forgotten how to smile. But it's hard to ignore it when it's taped to your windshield. One morning I found a note: some families just don't belong here. No name. Just HOA letterhead. I filed a formal complaint. Surprisite was reviewed by the same board. Insufficient evidence, they said. Then came the night that broke me. It was a Tuesday. I'd been out late handling a stolen vehicle report. Got home around 1 a.m. The house seemed normal. I assumed Liam and Boomer were asleep. But when I checked his room the next morning, it was empty. No note. No dog. Nothing. I thought maybe he took Boomer to the park. But no sign. I called his friends. Nothing. I triggered every protocol I could. Amber Alert. Citywide surveillance. I didn't sleep. Just stared at the floor, begging the universe not to take my kid. Then I hit security footage near the community clubhouse. A board member named Walter, a retired mailman with too much free time, was seen walking Liam and Boomer toward the lot. Liam looked drowsy, swaying. Boomer wasn't even barking. Then they climbed into a white van with no plates. I stormed over to Eloise's house. She was pruning roses like nothing happened. When I demanded to know where my son and dog were, she just smiled and said, "Perhaps you should raise them more quietly. They've been safely relocated for the community's peace." Relocated? Like they were an unwanted couch? She truly believed she had the authority to remove human beings. And if she was dumb enough to say that to my face, she was dumb enough to have left a trail. Sure enough, we found the van 3 counties over, abandoned near a gas station. A couple matching Eloise and Walter's description had dropped Liam and Boomer off at an animal rescue center, claiming Liam was a ward of the state. Boomer had been sedated. Liam was crying, disoriented, asking for me. In his pocket was a note. "Maybe now you'll listen." That was it. This wasn't HOA overreach anymore. This was a kidnapping. And they messed with the wrong father. Next morning, I walked into their HOA budget meeting. Calm. Silent. No yelling. Just a thick folder in one hand, a warrant in the other. They expected rage. What they got was quiet calculation. I dropped that folder on the table like a guillotine. Eloise's face twitched. "This is a private meeting," she said. "Not anymore," I replied. I laid out the charges: unlawful detainment of a minor, illegal sedation of an animal, unauthorized cross-state transport, misuse of HOA funds, and impersonating legal authority. Then I dropped the bigger bombshell. Using the FOIA and the HOA's own public registration, I'd pulled every financial record they'd filed. They were embezzling. $40,000 for a Zen rock garden that was literally a dirt patch. $1,000 for a pet waste disposal consultation. The receipts were fake. The projects didn't exist. I let the silence drag as I showed them photos, spreadsheets, even the van rental documents. Greg, the board treasurer, tried to say he was just following orders. "That didn't work at Nuremberg, Greg." I called in an audit. By noon, the HOA's clubhouse was an active investigation scene. Files seized. Hard drives copied. Residents came out of their homes watching in silence. Some cheered. A woman nearby told me Eloise once had her daughter's wheelchair ramp removed, said it violated symmetry. I wasn't done yet. I needed to prove intent. We pulled gas station surveillance. Interviewed staff at the rescue center. They described Walter and another board member, Janet, dropping off Liam and Boomer. Found a rental agreement signed by Eloise, citing community safety concerns. They listed Liam by name as a disruptive youth. Called Boomer a public menace with unpredictable saliva patterns. Then came the smoking gun, an internal email thread buried on a backup drive labeled Holiday Planning. It detailed strategies for relocating families who disrupt visual cohesion. They'd done this before. Other families. Other pets. I sent it to the DA. He called me instantly. "Want to make the arrest, or should I?" I showed up at Eloise's door the next morning. 6:03 a.m. Her car was gone. Mailbox overflowing. She'd run. But I'd already notified State Patrol. She didn't make it far. Caught at a gas station 15 miles out. Greg was with her. Car full of shredded documents and a label maker. When I arrived, she said I was persecuting her. "This isn't a witch hunt," I said. "It's pest control." They were arrested. Booked. Fingerprinted. Held in adjacent cells just for the poetic justice. But I wasn't done. The rest of the HOA board? Complicit. Some more than others. We subpoenaed every emails, surveillance orders, budget approvals. What we found read like the script for a dystopian sitcom. Families labeled aesthetic liabilities. Children called noise units. Greg even suggested motion-activated sprinklers to encourage undesirables to move faster. I called a town hall meeting. No official notice. Word spread fast. Packed house. Neighbors. Reporters. Curious onlookers. I laid it all out. Fraud. Kidnapping. Surveillance. Systemic abuse. Then I dropped the final line. The HOA was dissolved. Permanently. A city oversight committee would take over until further elections. And no future HOA could ever mimic Eloise's policies. Applause. Cheers. Hugs. But what mattered was Leah front row, safe, smiling. And Boomer wagging like a flag in the breeze. I bought the old clubhouse at auction. Tore it down symbolically. Built a dog park in its place. A mural of Liam and Boomer on the wall. Above them a giant sign, "Disturbances welcome." Opening day was perfect. Music. Free hot dogs. Kids everywhere. Not a single clipboard in sight. But it wasn't over. A week later, I got a call from a woman in a different town. Hannah. She just moved. Said something felt off. Sent me a photo. There was Eloise. New blouse. New neighborhood. Same clipboard. She was starting over. Again. I sent Hannah the full dossier. Called in the DA. Turns out Eloise had violated her court-mandated restitution and community service. Technically, she was a fugitive from a civil judgment. We didn't wait. I attended her first HOA welcome meeting in disguise. Sat in the back sipping cheap coffee. When she name-dropped me as a law enforcement ally, I walked straight to the front. "Funny," I said, "because I don't recall co-signing tyranny." The room froze. I handed out the injunction. Eloise fled. The neighborhood disbanded the HOA within days. She vanished again. But her name is a cautionary tale now. Back home, life returned to normal. Liam started sleeping through the night. Boomer chased squirrels like they owed him rent. And the dog park became a beacon. Sometimes strangers stop to read the mural, take photos, laugh. And every once in a while, someone asks if I'll run for mayor. I tell them no thanks. I've seen what happens when people chase power instead of principles. I'll keep my badge, my grill, my kid, and my dog. That's enough. And if Eloise ever pops up again, I'll be ready.